guys, it is me, Alia, and I just want to welcome you to my video where I will be talking to you guys about this week's episode of The Fosters. Firstly, before I get into anything, I would like to say that if the sound sounds weird, just tell me because I'm trying a new thing with this microphone and I don't know how it's going to turn out. But I did get a comment that said that my sound sounded a little weird, so I'm trying something new, and if this doesn't work, then I'll try something else. So, I just want to get right into this episode, talk about everything that happened. So, I want to be honest, I did miss the first 5 minutes of the episode, but I pretty much caught on to what was happening. So I know that Lena and Steph found the pregnancy test in the trash, and that Callie kidnapped Brandon for the day, and that Mike took AJ to see his grandmother. So I'm caught up on that. So Lena goes to talk to Mariana, and she's acting pretty weird, and Lena asked her kind of what's going on with Matt, and Mariana says that they've hooked up, but that hook up doesn't mean sex, because Lena automatically thought it meant sex, but apparently it doesn't. Anyway, she told Lena that they broke up, and Lena thought maybe it's because of the whole sex thing, but Mariana just says that he's going on tour for a long time, and she didn't want to hold him back. Like I said, AJ is visiting his grandmother, and she has, I think it's either Alzheimer's or dementia. She has some type of memory issue, and she doesn't really remember him, and so it's kind of hard, because imagine having this person who raised you, who you love, and they don't even know who you are. It's pretty difficult, but Mike helps him through it. So Callie did take Brandon out on a trip, and she ends up taking him to Mexico to go hang gliding. And I'm just like, whoa, Callie, this is like out of the blue. I don't know if it was because I missed 5 minutes or what, but she took him, and he was very skeptical at first, but they end up doing just that anyhow, so we'll see how it works out, because it doesn't exactly work out completely in their favor. While AJ is visiting his grandmother, she's talking to Mike, and she's like, oh, have you met my grandson? He visits me almost weekly, and AJ, who is her grandson, is like, I don't visit you weekly, but I wish that I could. And automatically I was like, she's talking about his brother, because she said he brings her flowers, and I was like, he's talking about his brother. And then Mike gets the same idea, like maybe his brother has visited, so they go through visitor logs, and they found out he visited 2 days previously, and I was like, I knew it. But, yeah, so now they have some type of trail to find out where he is and what he's doing. Since Mariana told Steph and Lena that she didn't have sex with Matt, they're automatically thinking that Callie is the one who thinks she's pregnant, or she might be pregnant. And they're trying to figure out, like, what's going on with her. They can't get in touch with her because she's not picking up her phone or anything, and they're very worried. But while they're worrying, Callie and Brandon are still talking about going hang gliding, and Brandon ends up telling Callie what happened at Idlewild with the whole crazy cat situation and everything, and he just seems like he's fed up with just composing, with playing the piano, with everything having to do with that whole area of his life. So we'll see what happens with that also. Since Mike and AJ know that Mike's brother Ty bought their grandmother flowers, they go to the closest flower shop and try to get some information on who he is. And the flower owner says that he remembers who he is and that he's a good kid. There's nothing wrong with him. He was perfectly fine. And I feel like AJ's wondering, then why hasn't he tried to contact me? But who knows? Back at the Foster's household, Steph grills Mariana about where Callie is, and Mariana ends up caving because they threatened to ground her, so she caves and tells them that they went to Mexico, but she doesn't say what they're doing in Mexico. Good job to you, Mariana, because you don't have to rat out your siblings completely. So once Mariana tells them where Callie and Brandon went, Steph and Lena automatically think, oh my gosh, Callie's like what if she's pregnant? What if Brandon's a father and they're trying to get an abortion? Like, they're having all these thoughts going around. And then Mariana speaks up and says that the pregnancy test was hers and not theirs. And not Callie's. And she says that she didn't have sex with Matt, but she did have sex with Wyatt. And then Steph kind of gets on her about it. And her and Lena kind of argue just a bit over that because Lena feels like she's being too harsh. And it's just craziness. So, back with Callie and Brandon, they are getting harnessed up to the hang gliding gear, and they both start to freak out before jumping. They're like, oh, maybe we just needed to feel like we were going to jump, and then we were going to be okay and everything. And then these cops come, and they realize they have to jump or else they're going to get arrested. So, they jump, and they enjoy it. They have so much fun, but once they land, the cops actually come and find them again. And I'm just like, what are they going to do? Because apparently this was an illegal business because all the workers ran. So we just don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, they shouldn't have run. They should have just said it was a misunderstanding, and we just don't know. After going to the flower shop, Mike and AJ, Mike gets a call on the police station saying that there's something going on. So he says he's coming with the ride-along, who is AJ, and they're on the scene, and Mike tells AJ to stay in the car. And Mike goes into the house, checks out the situation. They arrest people, and AJ stupidly gets out of the car, and then the other cops think that he's an accomplice of some sort, so they arrest him. And he's face down on the ground, and Mike's like, what are you doing? He gets super mad and defensive. He's like, this is my foster kid. You guys need to lay off. I said I was bringing a ride along. It was just a lot. And AJ was pretty shaken up afterwards because this has to do with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and just police brutality and just, I don't want to get too into it because I am not an expert on this subject, but I do want to say that I like the Fosters for making this point that there are African Americans who are treated differently because of the way they look. And Fosters, I just like how they touched upon that. So back with Callie and Brandon, they pretty much tell the cops that everything was a big misunderstanding, but the Spanish-English barrier is a little much. But Brandon does understand some, and the cops say that they want some type of sign of respect. I guess I don't really get it, but they want a sign of respect. So Callie tries to give them money, but it's not enough. So Brandon ends up giving them his piano, and I'm just like, he's like, well, I'm never going to play again. It's, like, not going to be used to anything of me anymore. And I'm just like, Brandon, you really just don't know. You need to stop doing too much. But he ends up giving away his piano, and the cops let them go. Back at the Foster household, Steph apologized to Mariana for seeming too harsh about the whole sex thing. And Lena and Steph both talk about how sacred it is and how Mariana shouldn't just be having sex with anyone. But she said she just wanted to lose her virginity, and that's not a good enough reason to do that. But she did it anyway, and they just want her to not just sleep around with a bunch of people because they want her to respect herself. And I think it was a really good point. This episode had a lot of good points, so good job, Fosters. As Callie and Brandon are exiting Mexico, she offers to buy him another piano because she feels bad for what happened. And he says he won't need it because he's not going to play, whatever. And as they're getting closer to the border, they realize that they need passports and they don't have any. Callie was like, oh, I thought our IDs would be enough. And I'm like, come on, girl. You're leaving the country, not state lines. Like, this is serious. But she didn't know. And Brandon starts to blame her for everything bad that's happened in his life. And Callie says that Brandon made his own decisions. Like, she may have been there, she may have been involved in some way, but he made the choices he made, so he can't blame her for everything. During this whole argument, they temporarily leave the car, and then when they come back, they're like, oh my gosh, where is it? Like, and I was like, please do not tell me they lost their car in Mexico. Like, this is not their day. But they end up finding it, which is good. Luckily, they played dumb at the border, and the cops let them back into the country with their driver's license. And when they get home, Steph and Lena are like, it's late and everything, so they know they're in Mexico. And Callie ends up taking the blame for everything. And yeah, Brandon has a visitor in the kitchen after this, and it is Tony. And Tony says that his pianist has agreed to take on Brandon as a composer, which means that Brandon is back in Idlewild, which is good news. Bad news, he doesn't have a piano, so maybe he will need Callie to buy him a new one. Throughout this whole episode, there's a contractor working on Steph and Lena's bathroom upstairs, and Steph is going to talk to him, and he asks to be paid, like, right then and there, and she's like, why? We had a payment plan figured out and everything, so, like, what's going on? And he has been witnessing Steph and Lena arguing throughout the day, and he says, when couples break up, I don't get paid till after the law process goes through. And I guess this really struck Steph because if an outsider is realizing that their marriage is in jeopardy, then there is something wrong. So she tells Lena that she wants to go to counseling. And I think counseling is a great idea. But I feel as if the fact that Lena and Monty kiss is going to come up somehow, some way, and it's not going to be pretty. Once AJ gets home, he and Callie talk, and she tells him about her adventure with Brandon, and then he starts to flirt with her, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, AJ, stop, because, guys, AJ is a handsome-looking boy, okay, and now he's flirting with Callie, and I'm just like, please, boy, you need to stop it too much, and she mentions, like, we're foster siblings, nothing can happen, and he's like, well, we won't be foster siblings for when Mike fosters me, so, and I'm just like, that still makes you guys like foster cousins, right? Something. I still feel like it gives them some type of relation, but I am so down for Callie and AJ. I'm thinking about a ship name right now. They could be Kaje, Callie and AJ, or Ajali, oh, Ajali, I like it. So, Ajali that's gonna become a thing. After Callie walks away from AJ gets a call on the phone, and guess who's calling? His brother Ty. And then bam, the episode ends, and I'm like, dang. But we'll see what Ty wants. I mean, AJ's been trying to get in contact with him for a long time, so it's about time that he called him back. So, guys, this is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed my little commentary on the Fosters. Things are going on. Ajali is definitely going to become a thing very soon, very, very soon. Lena and Steph, they're going to go to counseling. We don't know what's going to happen with that, but yeah. At least we know Mariana's not pregnant. I mean, that's good news, right? And Brandon's going back to Idlewild, so there's the good, and then there's also the confusing, but I think it's all going to work out in the end. But guys, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and check out some of my other videos. I have pretty much all the Fosters episodes from the season. I might start deleting them because my first ones were not that good. So, but yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.